This exciting trip in China began in the Forbidden City with its 20-foot deep moat, the imperial palace for over 600 years. No longer forbidden now, the moat reflects a very interesting past. In the Meridian Gate, the central arch was only for the emperor, and the inner river of the Golden Water was so named because it flows from the west and is therefore associated with the element gold. Our Viking guide was Patrick from Beijing, China's capital and second largest city. There are 308 water vats from the 1400s. The metal ones had fires beneath them to keep the water from freezing in the winter. The child is right where the emperors were carried up or down the marble ramp with carvings, always including the dragon, the symbol of celestial power and of the emperor. Changqing Hall had a box with the name of the next emperor. Gardens were for climbing around in and for playing chess, and real elephants, gifts to China from Burma, were made into very smooth shampoo from the elephant dung. Here is where the burnt coal was dumped while building the city. 5 pavilions were hit by Japanese during the war. Although silk production looks like this today, it dates from 206 BC, from the Han Dynasty, when the Chinese solved 2 major problems in making silk. Much top-quality jade came from the Ningxiao area of the Yangtze River Delta. We headed for the Great Wall on a private tour. Shixia Pass is a wild and unrestored section. In 1644, King Shuang, a Chinese shepherd, blasted the wall right here and overthrew the Ming Dynasty. The towers in the wall are only 2 bow shots apart to keep the enemy in check. It was really something to climb up on this original section. This Battling Hills section with the cable cars is most visited, and from the 1500s mainly. The Great Wall sections altogether, dating back as far as 600 BC, stretched about 13,000 miles, and parts of it were built by the very first emperor, Qin, under strict forced labor. At the signal platforms, wolf dung was burned. 1 blast meant that 500 Mongols were near. Michael Phelps won his 8 gold medals here in 2008 and took the record away from Mark Spitz. To help us with our tea, this nice university student came to our table. Tiananmen Square, the largest on Earth, is under tight security. From the old Ming Dynasty gate, Mao Zedong proclaimed the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949. He died in 1976, but his refrigerated remains can still be seen mornings and evenings. China learned the mummification steps from Vietnam for Mao Zedong, but had to decipher for itself how to make a crystal coffin. hours were the only means of timekeeping until 1912, when China's last emperor was forced to abdicate. As we ride through the hutongs, it's of interest to know that the last emperor, Henry Puyi, who abdicated at 6 years of age, was allowed to live inside the Forbidden City until he was 18. Then the Soviets caught him with Japanese, and he was exiled to Siberia and imprisoned in China. He died of cancer at 61 in Beijing. The good Chinese food and hospitality was always welcome. Socialization and good fresh air is good for these songbirds. Emperor Qin Shi Huang had the terracotta warriors fashioned near Xi'an, China's oldest city. The army faces the warring states to the east, and it was discovered by farmers digging a well in 1974 when a shovel hit one. The army is 2,200 years old, and the emperor's purpose was to protect himself in his afterlife. He was the one who also forced the building of the Great Wall. The laborers also were forced to dig out and prepare his tomb, where he was buried about 200 years before Christ's birth. It's never been opened since. All of this labor was done by 700,000 conscripted men who were buried alive if they didn't comply. He demanded a flow of liquid mercury into his tomb, simulating the rivers of China, and soil samples from 2005 proved positive for that mercury. The army and the Great Wall were made of rammed earth, a mixture of earth, chalk, lime, gravel, and animal blood to hold it together. The small holes in the shapes prevented explosions during firing at 1800 degrees for 2 days. Historians cannot agree on everything, but they know that the army was found holding nearly rust-free weapons due to a chromium dioxide coating applied 2,200 years ago. Chongqing was the capital of China during World War II, when the American volunteer group, the Flying Tigers, was based here in order to defend China against Japan. Chongqing really dates from 316 BC and has had its share of kings and emperors. This special guild hall, over 200 years old and rebuilt due to many wars and plagues, is a great gathering place by the river. In Chongqing, we met our Viking ship on the Yangtze River, which flows from the glaciers of Tibet all the way to the East China Sea at Shanghai. It's the longest river in the world, flowing entirely in one country. Here Here, we're walking by the river, through a marketplace, and over a bridge to the Shibeozhai Temple. Rapeseed is planted for animal food, making cooking oil and also biodiesel fuel. This Shibeozhai temple dates from 1750. The temple at the top was built without nails during the Qing dynasty in the 1600s, and people were hoisted up to it by chains. In 1819, the first 9 floors of the building were built. Although it resembles a pagoda, it isn't one, because it isn't self-supporting. It rests on the rock. In 2009, the Yangtze rose up to the base of the temple because of the work on the Three Gorges Dam. So the Chinese government built a swinging bridge out to this island and a protective wall all around. The town that used to be at the base of this hill was entirely submerged by the building of the Three Gorges Dam. We're cruising Chitang Gorge, the narrowest of the Three Gorges, and we're heading for the Three Gorges Dam. Hanging coffins were carved from whole logs and suspended from the very top by ropes to keep animals away from bodies. This was done by the Bo people in southern China. The Viking meals are quite appetizing. The Three Gorges Dam, the world's largest dam, barely got started in 1919 when Dr. Sun Yat-sen, who had helped to overthrow the last emperor, said that it would be possible to dam the ever-flooding Yangtze River. Chiang Kai-shek began the work, but it was interrupted by World War II, and then the Chinese Civil War, and then the Communist takeover. A horrible flood hit in 1954, so in 1994, serious building started again. The reservoir reached full height in 2010. However, 13 cities, towns, villages entirely submerged. These are painted inside the glass. We had a fun visit to this school. We heard the old Chinese bells in Wuhan before coming into Shanghai. Painting on silk originated in China over 2,000 years back. They used silk because it was easy to cut and easy to carry. Shanghai, once a fishing village, is 5,000 years old. It has the Pudong Modern District and the Puxi Old District. The famous Bund is in the Old, on the Huangpu River, while the Oriental Pearl TV Tower is in Pudong, near Shanghai's World Financial Center. When the communists took over in Chinese Civil War, most institutions were shut down, but reopened in 1949 under the People's Republic of China. Shanghai's known for typhoons and flooding, and its high walls along the river are there for a reason. The commuters in Guilin were out to greet us. This was a great hotel on the Li River. The water buffalo have tilled the rice fields for thousands of years. The Sun and Moon Buddhist Pagodas. The asymmetrical rocks are the most interesting. The karst hill caves provide excellent drainage, and these bamboo rafts are as strong as steel. Since 314 BC, there have been armies here guarding against Vietnam. In cormorant fishing, a cord tied around the bird's neck allows it only to swallow small fish. The fisherman then grabs the large fish. Sampan means 3 planks, the bottom and 2 sides. For many, it's a permanent home, propelled by poles, oars, or outboard motors. Hong Kong means fragrant harbor in Cantonese. The Tonka people lived on boats in Hong Kong's Aberdeen Harbor, called the Floating City, and fished for a living. Many still do at the mouth of the Pearl River. Love is a Many Splendored Thing was filmed right up here. Kowloon is actually a peninsula and a part of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is known for its deep natural harbor, also for salt production and for its emphasis on pearls. Oh my goodness! Already in the driver's seat, tomorrow's leaders.